Hello, my name is Jeongmin Song and I'm currently a rising junior attending Asia Pacific International School here in Seoul. And my favorite subjects would include history, and my hobbies mainly lie in art. So I've been here at Net Impact for a little over a year now, just like you said, and I've done mainly a lot of volunteering activities, and it was really through these volunteering activities that I learned how good it can make you feel to help somebody, especially when they're in times of trouble, and you can be that person to get them out of that time of trouble. And so through these experiences in Net Impact, I really think that it's going to help me look forward to doing more volunteering activities both with this organization and maybe with other places as well. So like I said before, I'm an artsy person and I really like playing things like the instruments like the cello and also designing and building things with my hands. And so it's probably natural then that I really enjoy going to these performances and also graduation ceremonies for these people for volunteering so I can play my cello. But I also in the past have done things like design buildings, lay down foundations for poor communities both in Canada and the United States. And moving forward, I want to do more of that. Do something that can impact people directly, whether it be spiritually through music or physically through building something which they can live their lives in. So for the concert on that day, I've prepared a piece called Tarantella, which is a piece by W.H. Squire. And so what it's about is it's about a tarantula and just going through its paces in life and how we see it and later how we should see it. And so in the first and last parts of the piece, you'll realize that it's how we kind of imagine it, kind of scary, something that can pop out, something that's really pushing the boundaries a bit. Yet as you go into the second part, you realize that even though we see tarantulas as this kind of scary, monstrous thing, at its core it's still a living thing just like us, you and your pet dog at home. And I'll be playing the piece with a piano accompaniment, which will be played by one of my long-term friends, Jenny. So as far as the Donggucheon performance is concerned, I'm always going to remember that one because it's always going to keep a special place in my heart because not only is it one of the last performances I'll give as a sophomore before I become overwhelmed by things like having to write applications and essays for universities, but it's also the first time where I chose the piece based on the audience and based where I was going to be playing it. And so for these reasons, I really think that it's going to be special to me and it's always going to remain fresh in my memory, no matter how old I get. And for this upcoming concert, well, it's been a long time since I performed in such a large crowd, and for these reasons, I really think that it's also going to remain special to me, but just not as special as Donggucheon. Well, if he's getting married, then first and foremost, I think congratulations would be in order, so that would be the first thing to cross off my list. Second of all, I tell him to treat his wife or his husband, whichever he chooses to marry, to treat them like a queen or a king, because he's the one who decided to spend the rest of his life with them, and so he better treat them that way. And third, I tell him, not recommend, but tell him to never throw that away for anything else, never to throw his family away for anything else, whether it be his passion, whether it be for money, and whether it be for fame. Because I know what it can feel like to feel like your family members don't really understand who you are. But at the end of the day, they're still your family and they've been with you since the day you were born if you're their child or if you're their parent, or since the day you got married if they're their spouse. And at the end of the day, there's nobody that's going to know you better than your family. So treat them well and never throw them away for anything. I have a dream where one day, when I have kids, those kids can go from Seoul to Pyongyang without having to cross a heavily militarized border and without having to worry about getting disappeared by some shadowy authority in Pyongyang. So my first dream for the world is to have a unified Korea, because at the end of the day, what are we? We're just a single nation divided by unfortunate circumstances. Second of all, I want to see them be able to immigrate from Asia to the United States if they want to, without having to face discrimination, without having to face unnecessarily long visa points, simply because they are from Asia. What is my second dream for the world? It is for it to be an undiscriminating world, one where people from everywhere are treated the same everywhere they go. And thirdly, what is my last vision for the world? I believe that because of human nature, there will always be some sort of nation state. That Earth can never really be unified under one government. But still, that doesn't mean that I want to see a world where everybody is so untrusting of one another that nations close their borders to one another. My final dream for the world is a world where there is no conflict, a world where there is no war. Instead, a war where things are settled diplomatically, a world where citizens from one country can go to another and not have to fear for their lives. And lastly, a world where people don't discriminate against other people simply for ideology, simply for politics, simply because the government told them to. But a world where everybody accepts one another because they look underneath all of that ideology, all of that politics, all of that useless things. But they look underneath and see them for what they truly are. Another human being. And in this world, I strongly believe that in order for the human race to evolve even more than it has, that we have to set aside these differences and work together to strive towards a singular goal.